Yes, big up. Sorry, I was having a problem with my mic. For some reason, it wasn't connecting to this stream. Hopefully, it is all sorted now. So please let me know you can hear me. My light went as well. God, it's been a bit of a nightmare the last couple of minutes. And oh God, after being on stream with Wolfie, I just needed 60 seconds to take a breather because that man is hard work. Big up to each and every one of you. Being told how to support my team is always good fun. Guys and girls, this is a chance for people to come on and have their say. Again, I think as YouTubers, we've got a bit of a responsibility. We should let people come on and have their say. People should be allowed to come on and talk about the final, talk about the win, talk about what it means to them. Doesn't have to be that, but I'm guessing most people will want to talk about that right now. So sorry, I've got sorry, bear with me. I've just seen a flyer. It's annoying me. Can you see it? It's really annoying me. In a minute, I will get it. So listen, if you would like to say anything, maybe you want to come on and have a cry. Maybe you want to come on and cheer and support. Maybe you want to come on and cuss me for something. Maybe you want to debate. Maybe you want to talk about Ange and Levy and what we're going to do in the summer. Listen, I'm going to put the link in. Please have something to say. Please, again, I'm going to ask, please, can we keep it Spurs? I put this link out and I know within minutes I'm going to get Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, YouTubers. I want to hear from YouTubers as well. A lot of YouTubers have a lot to say about me. Never want to come on and actually say it to my face. Lots of people have sent absolute dog's abuse to me in the last 16, 15 hours or so. Here it is. I'm open. These people never come on. Let's see. Honestly, I don't think, Phil Coys, that Wolfie is comedy gold. I don't. I think it's childish. I think that we cannot have a conversation without going, but you won. Yeah, I know, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the bigger bit, but you won. Cool. So I want to see all these people just then. I want to see what they say when their teams head towards 10th, 12th, 14th. And I'm going to remind them all. No, just keep the manager in case you win a trophy. I'm going to remind them all of that. Just absolutely cracks me up. Absolutely cracks me up. Billy, just go away. I see you being a shit stirrer in every stream today. Go away, mate, please. I've got no tolerance for people like you. At the end of the day, sometimes there is context. Sometimes you're allowed to say things that other people don't agree with. Yeah. So, Savva, you deserve it. I'm not sure how to take that. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully that's in a nice way. Anyway, big up to each and every one of you. I hope you're doing well. You know what? No, I don't want, no, Caesar, if you're watching, no, I don't want to talk about Club Bruges. This is not what this show is about. I will do a general one, but I'm going to put the link in the chat. And if anyone would like to come on, please come on. Please have your camera on. Please, please, please have your camera on. And I've got a hard stop at about 6:30, 6:40. So just to let you know, and it's really annoying. All I'm hearing is, oh, Savva rage quit. Savva didn't rage quit. Savva bored of the shit and had to come here. Anyway, there is the link. It is in the chat. I'm going to pin it. Please have something to say, though. Please, for the love of God, have something to say. This is your chance as viewers. The message is pinned. This is your chance as viewers to have your say, whether you just want to praise, berate, whatever you want to do. If there's any YouTubers that always have a go at me, let's see them. Let's see them. I'll call them out. I've got people like the Hotspur hippie absolutely abusing me, calling me a poisonous cunt, right? Come on this show. Let's talk like adults. You know, not everything needs to be calling me a cunt. I'm getting a little bit bored. I'm getting a little bit bored of the abuse, if I'm brutally honest. It's just got way too far. Just getting really, really bored of it. Do you know what makes me laugh? And before I bring the first person on, what makes me laugh about this is all I get is messages saying, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. How can I when I'm just being sent abuse? How can I enjoy it when I wake up to 750 messages and most of those messages are calling me a cunt, or a prick or a wanker. I'm not a Spurs fan. I don't deserve it. 40 years, and I don't. Hey, it is what it is. Let's go to the first person. Always the first person. Big up to Ryan. How you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the video that Corey sent over to you earlier whilst we was on the phone together.
I've seen there's a video. I've been streaming, so I've not seen what it's about. But is it you in the mud, by any chance?
Well, no, it's actually more like a lot different. Actually, it's more where I think, but I don't. Do you know what? I'm looking for a debate here, and I'm hoping you'll debate me on this, Savva, because I need a good, healthy debate. I'm going to just call it as it is, and I hope you do the same here. I think the Europa League is a Mickey Mouse Cup compared to the Champions League.
Okay, so you want me to argue with you that it's not a Mickey Mouse Cup?
Yep.
I mean, I feel like the term Mickey Mouse is really demeaning it. I don't think it's Mickey Mouse. I think it's been watered down. I think it's been a nice run for Tottenham. But I wouldn't call it Mickey Mouse, because if we're going to say that, then what we're saying is the only competition that matters in the world is the Champions League. Is that fair?
Well, that's what I'm basically turning around and saying, Savva. I think the only competition that matters is the Champions League. Like, don't get me wrong, I was happy that we won, but I wasn't getting all excited as if we had won like the Champions League. Now, if we had won the Champions League, I would have been literally going, "Oh, is your light all right?"
No, my light is not all right. Keep going on.
Yeah. So obviously, right, I would have been. It would have been totally different, yeah, right. If I had seen us win the Champions League, I would have been literally singing the praises of the players, not Ange, but the players. I'm still Ange out, by the way, but that's what I would have been. I would have been doing, singing the praises of the players yesterday, because if it was the Champions League.
Sure, but Ryan, I think that this all depends on, sorry, let me turn that light on. Sorry.
You're good, Sam.
Maybe that'll work. We'll see. We'll give it one more try. I like seeing Frank in the background. Listen, I think that we can't say that every tournament that isn't the Champions League is pointless. We can't. There's a reason you play in the tournament where you finish. We finished in the Europa League spots last year. We play in the Europa League, we win it. So we're playing and we're winning tournaments at the level that we're at. That's the main thing for me. Listen, I think it's watered down. Yes, I do. I don't think it's as strong as it's been, but I don't think we're as strong as we've been. So is it an achievement? Absolutely, it is an achievement. Should we have won it? Yes, I believe we should have won it with the teams that were in it. If we're going to say we are one of the best 4 teams that were in that tournament, so saying that we should win it isn't far-fetched. I don't know. What do you want to achieve from calling it a Mickey Mouse Cup? What is it that we're trying to do here?
Because I might be old-fashioned, right, on this, because I was born in the 90s, so it's actually my first actual European trophy that I've actually seen, even though I'm calling it a Mickey Mouse Cup. But compared to when you look at it compared to the FA Cup, for example, and the League Cup, put them two, side by side, I think the League Cup's a Mickey Mouse Cup and the FA Cup is the bigger cup. Like the same as if you're doing with the Europa League and the Champions League. You see what I mean?
So let me ask you then. So if we're going to go down that route, when Newcastle beat Liverpool in the League Cup, when they knocked out Arsenal over 2 legs in the League Cup, I mean, what makes a competition Mickey Mouse? They've just knocked out the champions of England. Over 2 legs, they knocked out the team that has finished second in the Premier League. So what makes it Mickey Mouse? Why is the League Cup Mickey Mouse, the FA Cup's not? What's the barometer?
Right, because the history is. I'm only going by what I personally think. I think because the history of the competitions are totally different. Like the FA Cup, you get when we was in the 2nd division all those years ago, right, and we won it as a 2nd division team. That's got the magic to it. Whereas when you got the League Cup, you don't ever see the a League Two team ever winning it, because all the big boys are always winning it all the time, 9 times out of 10.
But hang on, isn't that the same for the FA Cup and the League Cup? Like don't the big boys win both those tournaments all the time? I mean, I know Newcastle won it this year, but Newcastle are now starting to get into that. I hate this expression, but Newcastle are now part of that big 6 fight, aren't they? So that big 4 fight. So can't we say that that's the same for both clubs?
No, because look at Crystal Palace this season. What they done against Man City in the final. That's the magic of the FA Cup coming to light.
But can't that happen in the League Cup? Why can't that happen in the? Why is the magic of the FA Cup not like the magic of the League Cup?
Because I just don't feel the same about the League Cup as I do about something like the FA Cup or the Champions League.
I understand, but listen, I think what we've got to realise in football, there are so few trophies to be won every year. There are so few trophies that if we start diminishing them, we can say they're on different levels. We know the Europa League isn't as good as the Champions League. Of course, that's the nature of who finished where and the better teams. But yeah, I don't really think. I think. Listen, normally we agree, mate. I can't sit here in good faith and call this a Mickey Mouse trophy. This is the second most prestigious trophy in Europe. Maybe if you're talking about the Conference League, but even then, the teams that are playing in the Conference League, that's where they finished. That's where you finished the year before dictates. So we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, mate.
Yeah. But what also gets me though, right, Sav, normally the top 5 teams get a Champions League spot.
Yep.
And we finished 5th and we only got Europa League. Look, I understand the configuration, right, and how all the teams doing the configuration.
But that's an anomaly, right? So in the English league's got the top 5 this year. And I will need to let you go after this. I've got people backing up. It went to the top 5 this year because of the coefficient points, right? So it wasn't like we were hard done by or anything. It was just the way it worked. You know, this year there's 6 English teams in the Champions League, which I do think is absolutely ridiculous. And it kind of demeans the whole wording of champions, doesn't it? But look, mate, listen, I am going to have to let you go. I've got people backed up and I do have a hard stop later on today. So we'll leave it there. But I do not think we can belittle the trophy and call it a Mickey Mouse Cup. Just going to say that.
Well, I'm glad I had a debate with you about it, Savva, because normally we agree on everything. So thank you for having a debate with me about it.
All right, mate. Listen, I'll speak to you soon. You take care, all right?
Yep, you too, mate.
Yeah, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers,
right, gonna bring Pete on next. Big up. Where is Pete? Hello, mate. How we doing?
I'm all right, mate. All right. Sorry last night. I thought I stopped at 300 messages.
That, mate. Listen, you're all good. You're all good. Yeah, listen, if you're going to abuse me, at least make it to 750. Pete, honestly, if I showed you what my inbox looked like, you'd be utterly disgusted at the human race. Grown men just coming into my chat going, you're a cunt, fuck you, you're a poison. I'm like, what? Whoa. Like, we've won a European trophy. Their first thought is, let's abuse that guy. It's mad. Anyway, how are you, mate? You good?
I'm good. You good? Yeah, I'm happy, mate. I'm happy.
Good. What are we talking about, Pete? What are we going into?
Whatever you want, mate. You're the host. You tell me. What do you want?
No. Listen, mate. This is a chance for people to come on, have their say. I have my say all the time.
I think I'm pleased we won it. We should have won it and all that. It was sort of like the final. In terms of the football match, it was sort of dog and duck v the drum and monkey. In terms of the final, but for me, it's about what happens next now. The hard work start from Monday, really. Once the season's finished, what's the plan? Because we can't keep using. We've had this opportunity more than once, and we've never taken it to actually use it as a platform to go further. It's normally been like a false dawn, isn't it? Every time.
I mean, I did a video about this earlier. I said the key thing for me is that fly is absolutely doing my head in. Where has it come from? Sorry, I need to get it out of this room.
He's got on them rackets, mate. With the old...
Oh no, I know. I've got one downstairs as well. I just look. I said this earlier. As as football fans, I mean, listen, the jubilation of winning the trophy, absolutely. And I know that people, if you don't smile for 24 hours, everyone's like, you're not happy. I am happy. It just doesn't mean I need to go around being a lunatic about it, right? I'm a grown man. I don't need to be like, oh, we won, right?
Yeah.
So we win that trophy. My question as a fan is, like you said, Pete, what's next? I've always believed in that. Right, we've won it. Levy now knows what trophy we're in. Levy now knows, is he keeping Ange or not? Levy knows who is going to be the director of football. Is it going to be Paratici or is it going to be someone else? The new CEO's coming in. Right, what are you doing? What are you doing? Who are you buying? Who are we targeting? What's the plan for the next 2, 3, 4 years? That's the sort of person I am, mate. I think that's fair enough. But other people don't look at football like that. And that's fine. No,
I think that's right. I mean, you like to think Levy, Vinny and Paratici, you got a WhatsApp group going already, right? We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Obviously, they can't do nothing official or be seen to do anything official while people are still in roles and that. But there's got to be something already in plans afoot, surely. And now it's just about, I think it was like, well, if we won it, we're in the Champions League, we could go here. If we don't win it, then we'll have to go there. But now we know, sort of like, right, what we're going to do. Do I expect sort of 10 world-class players come through the door? No. But can we? I don't want to see us linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because free things like that sort of stuff. There is a blend I think we can get from. There's some good players that have their contracts expired at the end of the season. Yes, they're free, but they're seasoned pros. You know what I mean? Who we could have for a year or two. That would add value, not in terms of sell-on value, but being around the club, being on, and go and get some really good players as well at the same time as a blend. Because you never actually tap in to that market, and we've seen other clubs do it and get the benefits of bringing in these sort of well-known players for a couple of years just to help, especially with the younger players we've got. I tell you, it would be a good statement for us. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. If somehow we convince Kevin De Bruyne to come to Spurs when he's on a free, I mean, what a move that would be. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something like everyone goes, okay, now they mean business. Not Spurs and linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin because his contract's up.
I'll make you completely listen. I can't see the De Bruyne thing ever happening in a million years.
No,
the guy
will want like that. You know what I mean? Something on that.
I agree with you. What we need for me this summer, I've said this, I think we need 3 or 4 players that come into the first team that are better than what we've got. I don't want to see more squad players. I don't want to see more Archie Grays. I want to see who we bringing in that we go straight away, right, that fucking fly. Hang on, I'm shutting the door. 1 sec. Don't go anywhere, Pete. I think I've got him.
Stick that, mate. Man who catch fly and all that.
I think I've got him. Right. I want to see 3 or 4 that come straight in, that you go, right, they're coming into the first team. The players that were in the first team drop down as squad players, and the players that were squad players, we move them on because we're upskilling all around the squad. I want to see that. I want to see Mbuemos. I want to see Vissers. I want to see people like Paulinho from Bayern who's not getting a game. I want to see Jonathan David, who's a goal scorer. I want to, you know what I mean? I want men. I want to see some men. I don't want to see more Archie Grays and then everyone goes, but it's a youth project. No, we've got kids, Pete, haven't we? We've got so many 17 to 20-year-olds.
We've got enough potential. Now it's about moving forwards. It's about getting some ready-made players in. Because on 2 reasons. 1, we need the quality, but 2, we can't. Let's put it in context. Ange had the luxury of resting his best players every league game because the league there was nothing to achieve, and Levy let him get away with it because we were that far away. It was pointless doing anything, and the only route was to win the Europa League. Next year, whoever's in there don't have that luxury, so you have to play your best. A good team in the Champions League and a good team in the league, week in, twice a week. You can't. There's none of this. Well, we just drop everyone for that. So that luxury's gone.
Agreed.
So you need some much better. You can't be having Archie Gray midfield and all that. He needs to be getting dropped minutes in other places, but not like as a complete rotation like we've been doing and just throwing league games. And as for Ange, I don't know what's going to happen. For me, he's still got to go. That's just my opinion. I've been saying that from day dot. I'm not going to change that. But I think next year, with that Champions League revenue, if he was to stay, I think he'd be gone very quickly because Levy is going to move all out to protect that revenue. If that revenue's under threat, gone. Do you know what I mean?
Look, I completely agree with you. Look, I mean, I was asked the question earlier on a show and then it was completely spun on me. So I get really frustrated when I'm asked about, oh, do you still want Ange out? Look, 90 minutes against Man United doesn't change my opinion on his managerial ability across the season. But what I don't want to do is sit here a day after we've won a European trophy and just go Ange out, Ange out, Ange out. I just don't think it's right. But two things can coexist. He did very well in the Europa League. But you're right, Pete. Next year, we're playing in the Champions League. There can be none of this, oh, I can't play 2 games a week. I can't manage it. No, you can't do that. This year, look at Aston Villa. This year, look, people are going, Aston Villa. Aston Villa are 1 game away from getting Champions League qualification again, whilst getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, right? Whilst getting to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, whilst balancing their squad. So Aston Villa aren't going, on a Saturday or Sunday, Pete, Aston Villa aren't going, right, let's rest 6 of our first team players because we've got Bayern Munich on Wednesday. They're playing their best team. I don't believe that Ange can do that. I don't think that's only my opinion.
Well, he said it himself. He said it himself in his interviews.
Right. He can't do it. He's admitted he can't do it.
When asked why he's struggling in the league, well, I don't have to explain it. We're playing twice a week. We got Europe, we got a cup run. All them things will be true next year, but just a much higher level, with much higher scrutiny and much higher pressure, which he doesn't like either.
Pete, that's my point, right? Next season, and by the way, I just realised that my wire's dropped, which I had. What is going on with this light? Sorry, something's bad. Look, I've said this all along about Ange, right? Let me just take it out. I've said this all along about Ange, right? You can go on a good cup run. Cool. You can go on a cup run. That's great. You've shown me that you can win a cup in a cup that we're meant to win. Great. What you haven't shown me is that you can adapt in the Premier League. Now, if Ange stays, which there's a big chance that he might, and there's a big chance he might not, show us next season that you can balance it. No more excuses. This season, Pete, I've heard that last season, it was, where's the Spurs fans' winning mentality? We want to win every game. At the same time, this season, he's throwing games for the last 10, 15 games of the campaign. Contradiction. Last season, we're not playing enough games, so we've got no momentum. This season, we're playing too many games. It's like he said, he was asked earlier in the season about experienced players. There's 2 ways to get experienced players and leaders. You either buy them or develop them. I prefer the second one, develop them. In the last month, he's come out and gone, oh, no, I actually need experienced players. Like, this man says something. Fans go, oh, I love that. That's brilliant. Then when it doesn't work, they go, oh, no, but he meant that. And for me, he's got to prove it. He's got to prove it, Pete, next year if he's here that he can cope. I don't want any excuses that we're in the Champions League. He's going to have another 4 or 5 signings if he stays. That will be over 22 signings at the club. It will be his squad. There's no excuse, Pete, for me. No excuses.
No, I agree. For me, I wouldn't do it. For me, this opportunity we've got is too important to waste. Because if it goes wrong, which is, let's be honest, it's more unlikely to go wrong than right. Because you look at history, Ramos, the league season, we won the cup, but we was very poor in the league. Soon, everyone thought the cup win would change it. It didn't. Going to next season, gone within 10 games. Because if something's fundamentally wrong, something's fundamentally wrong. Then Pochettino, really poor end to the season. We get to Champions League final by a crook. Everyone thinks that's the turning point. League season starts. Even though we spent a lot of money, the form continued. Yeah, right. We probably should have stayed with him, and he was right what he said about the players. We couldn't see it. He saw it. Levy didn't believe him, and he just thought we needed another manager. But the same thing happened. We get to a point. There's been a poor season before it carries on, and then Man United made the same mistake. They kept Ten Hag, who, let's be honest, he finished 8th, not 17th, and he won 2 trophies in his time. They should have got rid of him, didn't, and every time they've wasted a summer and a load of money that could have been given to the next man. Knowing full well there's a high probability he's not going to be around to do it. What is the point? It's too important now with all the other teams around. The Villas, the Newcastles, all these teams up and coming. It's Forest. It's too important to throw away that opportunity to then need a reset halfway in October, because that's exactly what's going to happen. It's too important.
No,
I think let him go. I'd rather see him go as a winner, and then he can turn around and say, you know what? I said I'd win it my second season. I did win it. Walk away rather than have the indignity or the embarrassment of being sacked within 8 games. Yeah, he's a winner, but he was sacked in 8 games. Do you know what I mean? It's both. Just walk away now, and everyone's happy. He stays a winner. He never got sacked after 10 games like Ten Hag and everyone else has done before him. He walks away a winner. We have the platform that his Europa League winners provided. Everyone moves on.
Look, for me, I'll say the same thing. I'm not going to sit here and go Ange out, right? The man has won a European trophy. What I am going to do, though, is be very cautious that we don't do a Ten Hag. That we don't do a Ten Hag. Man United gave Ten Hag £240 million last summer, right? Then very quickly realised there's a reason we should have got rid of him in the summer. Didn't because of emotion of winning a trophy.
Exactly.
And then they bring in Amorim going, hang on, well, these players don't play Ruben Amorim's style. We need new players. So for me, listen, Ange, no excuse. What I want is all the Ange in fans, fine, be Ange in, be smug. You can do whatever you want. But there's got to be other. I heard excuses from them last year. I've heard ridiculous excuses from them all this year. They all lie about the injury scenario when it's nowhere near what they say it is, right? When the players were injured, Pete, it was wait till they come back. When the players come back, it was, but the league didn't matter anymore at that stage. Well, yes, it did. We still had 12 games to play, which was 36 points. That's a lot to play for. So, and the last thing I'll say is this. All the Ange, I can see people in the chat right now, right? Not all the people in the chat. People going, Ange did what Conte and Jose didn't. Yeah, but Conte and Jose didn't have a 17th in the table with 21 defeats. Like this, you've got to weigh it up against each other, right? Yeah, Antonio Conte and Jose didn't lose 21 league games in a season with worse squads. So you've got to weigh it up. Yes, he's won. Brilliant. Yes.
Take it and let's walk away. And everyone, you know what I mean? Let's not embarrass the man. Let's show him a bit of respect. He's won the trophy. Embarrass him to sack him in 8 games because that's exactly what will happen.
Look, I just don't want any excuses because you know what will happen. Like when people like my mate Ben come on, you know, which is just excuse after excuse. You know, he lied to me and said, we're going to hit the bottom of the V. Every time, what's the bottom of the V? But injuries. But the league didn't matter. But when he was in Japan. It's like, I don't give a shit. What I care about is where's our pride? Every week we're going into league games. People are beating us easily, and these fans are going, but it's what Ange does. What? Loses loads of games. What do we mean this is what he does? So listen, if he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. If he does stay, I don't want to hear any do you know what? I'd meet halfway with the Ange fans. If they say Ange has got to stay now, fine. As long as they agree that next year, no excuses. Nothing on injuries, nothing on tactics, no excuses. He has to hit next season, the ground running. He needs to learn not to invert, which he seems to do for the Europa League, but not the Premier League, which baffles me, Pete. He needs to learn that we need a number 6, and he needs to learn that he needs to get his forwards into better positions, right? For me, that's what he needs to do.
He's listened to him last night on his pre-match interview. He said, I believe playing knockout football should be played one way and league football another. He said it himself. The same people were saying, look, he's learning. Look what we're doing in the Cup and Europa League. Yeah, fine. So he's had ample opportunity to apply that to the league games and get us up the league, knowing full well his job's probably on the line. And he still didn't do it. He's still not done it once. So he clearly has a philosophy, and this is right, to play one way in league games and one way in Europe. But that way gets you 17th. Do you know what I mean? And I can't see...
Listen. I will let you go because I've got a few people building up, one of which is Ben, which is interesting. But he will be, Ben, if you're watching, mate, I am going to leave you till last because otherwise we'll battle and then no one else will get a say. So just stay there. It's not anything personal. Look, last thing I'll say is this, Pete. If he stays, he has to learn. He has to learn to balance the competitions. There can be no, but we're in the Champions League. Sure. Well, that's what we won it for. We won this to get in the Champions League. So now go and do what Villa have done this season. Now, Villa haven't won a trophy this year, but they've had a good year. They've had a good year in all competitions and consolidating league again. So for me, that's what we need to do next season. I won't judge Ange next year on not winning a trophy as long as he consolidates, gets us back into the top 4-5 mix for Champions League football and has decent cup runs. Is that fair? I'm not even judging him against winning another trophy.
Yeah, no, we've got to kick on now. The last thing I'll say before you let me go is this victory it ain't for Sonny, it ain't for Ange, it ain't for Levy. This cup is for us fans. We've put up with shit for fucking years. Yeah, every fan who's travelled home and away, some of them week in, week out, deserve it. Us fans deserve it. We've had shit for years. We deserve it more than anyone else. So at least we can enjoy it for a few more days. Yeah, let's enjoy it, and then from Monday, season's finished. The business has got to start. We've got to get down to business. We cannot let sentiment hinder progress, and that comes to the manager, some players. We've got to go right. We've got to get serious now, or else we'll be right back where we started.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Listen, buddy, I know you've got to shoot off, and I've got an hour to get 7 or 8 people in. So, listen, much love, bro, and I'll speak to you soon. All right. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye. Right, so that was Pete. I'll bring the next person on. If you are there, please, I've got an hour. I will get you all on, but please just be patient. And if you are in the back room, just watch as though it's a normal show. Let me bring on my man Lewis. How you doing, Lewis? You okay?
Oh, I'm brilliant. Honestly, last night was the best. 16 years I waited for that. I can't wait.
And you are 16, right?
Yeah, now I am. Yeah.
Right. So this is the first trophy you've seen in your lifetime. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me. How did it feel?
Struck that corner, the last corner. Oh, stress. I was literally on my seat with my dad, and he was stressed, and he was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "It's fine." And then obviously, Mickey van der Ven, what a legend. I thought they was going in. I thought that's it. It's over. Got to wait another year.
He kind of saved Vicario's blushes a bit there, didn't he, with that wonderful goal line clearance. What did you make of the game then, Lewis? I mean, what did you is there anything you wanted to say in particular, or just in general?
Well, the first half I thought Man United dominated us until like the 40th minute. And then obviously we scored. Didn't even know it went in. Celebrated 5 minutes late. It was just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would say that was a boring final, but then I realised, no, it weren't, because it's a Spursy thing to do, isn't it? Finish 17th and then win the Europa League. Like, how? Like, it's just, I'd rather win a cup than focus on the game.
Yeah, look, I mean, I can't imagine you're going to see too many times that the winner of a European competition finishes 17th in their league, and it kind of sums up our season, doesn't it? Kind of sums up, that's Tottenham, right? But we're not going to knock it because we needed a trophy. And forget fans like me, I'm old. Fans like you needed this more than I did, right? Fans like you've not seen a trophy. So I'm really, really, more than all us old farts that argue about football, I'm pleased for you. I'm pleased that fans like you get to experience what winning a trophy is like. So listen, don't ever let anyone, by the way, don't let anyone ever tell you how to celebrate. You celebrate it. You love it. You don't know when this moment's coming again, my man. And you go into school or college or whatever you're doing, and you absolutely banter all those Arsenal fans. All right?
They were bantering me before. Before that happened. Oh, mate. I told one of them to shut up, and they ain't messaged me back since. I was like, all right, that's good.
Yeah, you'll get that. You'll get that. People go quiet. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Lewis, or you just wanted to just come on and just say that?
Well, I don't know. It's a bit emotional, really. I woke up this morning and I was like, is this real? And I was like, maybe it is, because I rarely see that. Like, it's amazing. I didn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, great. But,
enjoy it, Lewis. As an older Spurs fan, I can tell you that you never know when the next one is coming. So enjoy this. I'd love to tell you that we're going to win a trophy every year, but there's only X amount of trophies. So enjoy it, mate. Mug off your Arsenal mates and your whoever else mates. And listen, hopefully you won't have to wait too long until you get your next one. All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right, mate. Listen, you enjoy. Don't go and get drunk. I normally tell everyone to go and get drunk after this. Don't go and get drunk. All right. No. You're too young. Don't go and get drunk. All right.
Yeah.
Big up, Lewis. You take care, mate. See you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Big up to Lewis. That's who I'm happier for. That's who I'm happier for. Us old farts. Some of us, we've seen it. We've seen trophies. Let me bring in JD. By the way, JD, how are you doing?
All right, man. Appreciate you having me on, man. Love the channel, brother.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I did see you were waiting the other day, but I think I was probably arguing with Bottom of the V Ben for a while. And,
okay.
Went a bit mad. How are you?
Right,
you
man.
good?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, listen. Spurs winning trophies is bittersweet for me because I want to enjoy it and I'm not allowed to enjoy it because I've dared to criticize throughout the season. So bittersweet is how I feel today. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same, but I'm probably going to rain on people's parade and probably be a bit negative. I heard you say that you don't want to come on and say Ange out, but I'm saying he has to go 100%. Like he cannot stay and he cannot be trusted. Like we can't trust this guy with any money. Absolutely not. You know. Yeah. I'm tired of seeing him with both fullbacks up on the opposing team's area with our with centre backs on a halfway line. Like that's just a recipe for disaster. And if it continues next season, like we're going to be right where we are again this season. You know, so we cannot keep this guy. He can't be trusted. Thank you for the trophy. Please leave, and we have to go all out to get Glasner.
So let me ask you, JD. Listen, by the way, I think Glasner's a wonderful coach. Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Do you think that the emotion of winning a trophy and the fact that it's been so long is going to actually cloud over pragmatism for the club moving forward, if that makes sense?
I hope not. And going by Levy's track record, I wouldn't expect it to, because Levy doesn't seem like he's too concerned about the trophies anyway. I think he'll look at the league table and he'll see where we are. And like, I mean, we're probably not going to win another trophy next season. I mean, I hope we do, but it's unlikely. So we can't afford another season like this. Like, so this guy cannot stay.
Yeah, I tell you the thing for me is, and again, the only reason I say I'm not going to sit here and say Ange out is you won't get clipped, I will get clipped, and then I get dogs abused for days and months. What I would say is this. You are 100% right about the fullbacks being high up and, you know, no number 6 and all that kind of stuff. So why has Ange adapted in the Europa League, but he won't adapt in the Premier League? Like, for example, all these games where we do well in the Europa, you know, the following game that weekend, JD, we go straight back to the nonsensical, chaotic football. Why does he do that?
I'm not sure it's him. I'm kind of thinking the players have just like taken it on their own backs to, like, you know, to get the job done and get it over the line. Like, because he stands on the sideline, he doesn't give any instructions. I can't see he's in a dressing room and he's set the team up and told these players, like, you know how to play and where to be. Because I mean, if we remember Eric Dyer and what he said, the guy doesn't work on tactics. So I don't think it's him. I think the players have have done it off their own backs. That's my personal opinion. I mean, I can't prove it, but it's just what I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but I think there's something to it because it's so drastically different how we played against Bodo in the second leg, how we played against Frankfurt in the second leg, how we played against Man U yesterday. It's so different to, and forgive me, JD, sorry, I'm going to throw out, as I do this, Ange ball. It's so different to what his philosophies are. And this is what makes me laugh. When I've got these Ange fans that go to me, there you go, trust in his philosophy, it'll come. But it's not his philosophy that's won it for us. It's the opposite to what he's been trying to implement, which has actually won us this trophy, isn't it? Isn't that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. But then again, you know, going off what we've seen from this guy, like his philosophy isn't going to change and he's not going to adapt it. So again, like we cannot afford to keep him.
Yeah, listen, I just don't get it. As I said, last season, I think, you know, you can turn around and almost go, all right, you played gung-ho football. We were getting battered by everyone towards the end of the season. Hang on, he's got the summer to work on it. And everyone, all the Ange fans said to me, oh, you don't know Ange. And all of this revision is what he did in Japan, what he did in Australia. And in his second season, he does it. Cool. Start the season, still wide open, still 2 at the back, still no defensive midfielder. And he's done that all the way through the Premier League, apart from the Man City game where he went ultra defensive and we won 4-0. The Brentford game away where we sat in and won 2-0 on the counter-attack. I don't understand that he doesn't understand his style isn't winning us games. When he comes away from Ange and actually goes pragmatic, we're winning games. I don't get how he doesn't get that, JD. That worries me massively.
I mean, it worries me too. And this is why again I say that we cannot keep this guy. Like we just can't. You know, and again, I mean, look, I'm going to go back to like last season, like the first 10 games. Like, I don't understand why these fans are like clinging on to this engine, or like, you know, I mean, I don't know what they see. Like, I'm racking my brain trying to figure it out, but I just don't know what it is. It was 10 games where we were lucky. Like, it wasn't any like, you know, tactical football or anything like that got us through. It was 10 games. A few of them we were lucky, a few decent performances, but it got worked out, like I said, after the Chelsea game. And to be honest, at the end of last season, I was kind of like unsure about him. We started the season, I thought I'd see how it goes. After, I think it was the Brighton game, we were 2-0 up and we threw it away. I said, nah. That's when it turned for me to 100%. This guy has to go. I've stopped going to games. I've stopped taking my son to games because it's just too much. It's too much now.
JD, this is the thing for me. I know people don't like doing this, but I'm going to decompartmentalize. I'm removing the Europa League. The Europa League is over here. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. We won it. But the football week in, week out in the Premier League has been utter dross. It's been utterly diabolical. And yet all the Ange fans seem to have this inside knowledge of, yeah, but what he does is this. And I'm like, but he's not adapting. Like, we've now had 2 years where he's not changed it. And it's not worked for 19 months. For 19 months, it's been the worst Tottenham I've ever seen. But
you know, I think it is. I think they're watching too much. I think they're watching too much of your Australian, mate, and just drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, refusing to, you know, to listen to reason. That's what it is.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Listen, do you know what? I'll end it on this, JD, because I've got a few people waiting. If this manager adapted somewhat in the Premier League, stopped with the inversion in the Premier League, stopped the inverting fullbacks, stopped having all the midfielders running around like lunatics, and actually had a system, I think that fans like me would go, fine, I've got no problem with you. But I can't watch 21 defeats and us being chaotic and wide open and say, this manager's the man I want to take me into the Champions League. So that's just me. It's just me.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I know you've got other people to get on, so I'm trying not to, you know, take up too much time. But like you said, like with the midfield as well, like the way we look open, like we've got players in there that can perform better and should be. Basuma at Brighton, before we got him, like that game when they came to our place and he ran the show. He did the same thing against Arsenal the week before. So these are players that are capable. But with this manager and how he plays and like his lack of, you know, tactical nous and working on like position and drills with these players, he's got decent players looking terrible. So I don't. Can I give you an example of
where I agree with that, JD? Just before I let you go, can I give you right? This is my big thing, and this is a player that I like to use as the example, right? Yves Bissouma, right, gets so much stick. Now, when Yves Bissouma is adopted in this chaotic midfield that Ange plays, when we've got the high line and he's trying to play Yves Bissouma as some sort of fake number 6, he looks terrible because, you know what? He's not a passer of the ball. He's not a deep lying playmaker. He's not a DM. When you've seen Yves Bissouma in the semi-finals of both legs and in the final playing not in a chaotic system where we have a flat back 4, no one inverting, Yves Bissouma's been the best player on the park, right? Funny enough, you play players in their normal position, they will play well, right? That for me is How are you not getting the best out of Yves Bissouma, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Maddison in the league, but you can in the Europa League? It baffles me, JD. It baffles me.
Listen, all the players you mentioned, like when we got Bentancur, like one of my friends is a Man United fan. He was fuming. He wanted him at Man United. You know, similar thing with Bissouma. Like some guys I know who support Arsenal, like, you know, they would have taken him. So how is it these guys come to Tottenham and they just look terrible? It's because they weren't terrible. Well, Bissouma didn't get much of a looking under Conte, but Bentancur wasn't terrible under Conte. He was one of our best players.
Again, Bentancur plays in the double pivot with Bissouma. When they play that together, they look very good. They complement each other. Yeah. And then you've got James Maddison, who can be allowed to play a playmaker. Not Ange, though. Ange has got James Maddison on the halfway line, but I don't want a playmaker there. I don't want my playmaker there. He's got Bissouma in the number 6. He's not a number 6. Yet he moved away from that, put them both in their positions. And you know my theory. He knows what he does doesn't work here. He knows what he does doesn't work. And that's why
he's too arrogant to change.
League,
the guy's a narcissist.
But he saved his job in the Europa League, JD. He saved his job.
If that's the case, he knows and he persists with it, then, like I said, it's about him. The guy's a narcissist and he's not going to change. Because if he knows what he's doing doesn't work and he can do something else and it'll be better, like, why not do it?
Look, I agree with you, man. Listen, I'm gonna have to get some people on. You're always welcome back on the show. Thank you,
Robert. I just want to say though, like, no, I appreciate you having me on. Like, thanks, and you know, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, don't worry about the haters and the people who like, you know, message you all that crap, man, because you're doing a decent job, man. I actually found you through your Australian mate, who I don't watch anymore because of the Just the East views. I know you can't say it, but I'll say it for you, man. So keep it up, brother, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. No worries, man. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. You take care.
All right, man. All
right. Guys and girls, right, I've got 40 minutes to rattle through some people. Before I do, let me just say, big up to Ricky Proctor. Said, congrats, Savva. Gutted as an Arsenal fan, but you fans deserve it. I got your answer on Dan's show. He protected the 1-0 lead yesterday. Can he change? That's the question. Can he change when it matters in the Premier League? So far, the answer has been no. Can he next season? Excuse me. We will see if he's given the chance. Big up to you, Ricky. Big up to a user who is very generous to me all the time. I said, loved every moment of yesterday. The emotions, the celebrations with my family will be cherished forever. Thanks, Ange and the team, for making that happen. New chapter now. Let's move onwards and upwards. A user, whatever we do, whichever manager, director of football it is, we've got to go that way. Got to. We can't have 2 years like we just had in the league. We can't. It's been shambolic. Big up to you, my man. You're very generous. Thank you very much. You've come back in again. Very generous. Said, I wanted our club to win a trophy. We did. Enjoy. I was trying to enjoy it, by the way, last night. Problem is, I get so much abuse that it takes the shine off it for me. It's so much abuse that comes my way. I wake up to clips of being called a cunt about 30 times in 2 minutes. It's just a bit much, but big up to you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, my man. Big up to Fane, who has said, Man United fan here, and I am absolutely devastated about yesterday, falling out of love with football, and this might be the end of the once great club. Man, you need to sort yourselves out, because yeah, you are a great club, and you are slowly but surely falling further and further away from grace. Listen, things can change very quickly in a year in football. Keep the faith, see what happens. And all I know is it's going to be a crazy, crazy summer for your club. Big up to you, Fane. Appreciate it. David Dulon, big up to you, my man. It says, Savva, you should apologise to Romero. For what? What would you like me to apologise to him for? You know, when people say apologise, first and foremost, Christian Romero doesn't know who I am. If he does, Christian, feel free to jump on. I'm sure he's not watching. Second of all, Christian Romero's paid about 175 grand a week to be a good defender. What am I apologising to him for? Apologise to Ange. Geezer's on £5 million a year. If I'm on £5 million a year, criticise me for whatever you want to. But thank you. Yeah, apologies to Romero. Great. Mario, big up to you. Become a YouTube member. I thought you were, Mario, before that, but big up to you. Much love, bro. Hope you're well. Arsenal, just a spicy Spurs. Not even a spicy Spurs these days. Arsenal, forever in our shadows. Big up to you, my man, with the super sticker as always. Very generous. Thank you very much. And my Dominican Republic airport friend, Mike Zappa, said towards the end of both seasons, Ange has made the players look like they have literally forgotten how to play football. Yesterday was great, but not football as we know it. Mike, again, this is what I want to know. Does this mean for Ange to change and not lose games, he has to stick 10 men behind the ball every game now? Going to be interesting because his tactic doesn't work, but behind the ball does. We're going to see. Mike, very generous. You didn't need to do that, but that does cover the cost of the food I ate in that very expensive airport. Big up to you, Mike. Really appreciate you, my friend. Big up. Let me get on. Marios.
Big up.
Are you Marios in the chat? You normally go by just Marios.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and you're in Cyprus, right?
Yes, I'm in Limassol.
Oh, my man. That's where, my dad's from Paphos. So I am half Cypriot. How are you, my friend?
Good, you?
Very well. Very well. Yeah, very well. What is it you want to talk about, my man?
I want to talk about Ange saying the league was stopped in January. He said that we stopped playing from January.
Mm-hmm. Go on. Talk about it. What do you think? You know, is it an excuse? Is it embarrassing that he's saying we stopped playing for 5 months? I think
it's embarrassing because it's not over from January.
Of course. Yeah. There's a lot of points to play for from January through to the end of May. Do you think that this is him now that he's got the credit in the bank of winning the trophy? Do you think this is now him just trying to sort of say, look, saving face and getting through to next season?
I think so, yes. I think by next week we'll know if he stays or no.
Yeah, look, I listen, I completely agree with you. Would you keep Ange? Would you get rid of him? What would you do?
I will get rid of him. I don't want him here.
Yeah. Who do you want?
I want Frank or Glasner.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'd take either of those. Do you think that he, not what you want, but do you think that he is going to be here for next season?
I think he will stay for 10 games and leave.
You think he'll stay for the first 10 games? We'll see how he does, and then he'll leave?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you think Tottenham will finish next season? Let me ask you that.
Depends which the manager is. I will say 6th.
6th. Yeah, I mean, I'll say 6th depending on who the manager is. If Ange is here, I'm not saying 6th. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Marios?
No, I'm delighted from last night. I was in the pub. I celebrated till 2-3 a.m.
Nice. And how are you feeling today? Are you feeling hungover or you're okay?
Yes, I'm hungover.
Okay, good. And how old are you?
17. 17.
17 and drinking in the pub. Oh, naughty boy. Well, listen, look, Marius, if there's anything else you'd like to say before I get the next person on, this is your opportunity to do so.
No, get the next person.
Well, listen, thank you for all your support. I always see you in the channel. Really appreciate you, and I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.
You take care, Marius. Bye-bye.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs. Absolutely. Big up. I'm going to bring on the real king, followed by Mr. Box Office, followed by Haskenhoff, followed by Eugene, and then that will be it. I say that'll be it. I'm guessing there's some long conversations in there. Big up, my friend. Sorry about yesterday.
Yes. Big up, Savva. Big up the whole chat, the panel, whole chat. Congratulations to Spurs. Obviously, you have to give them credit for last night, but last night and even today, I feel broken. I feel broken. You know, like it's not just the result; it's the manner of the result. You know, it's the amount of important players you also had out, like Kulusevski, Madison, Bergvall as well. As well, like, and Manchester United just couldn't leave a glove. Really, we couldn't really leave a glove on you. And I've been having doubts all season about the ownership, about Ineos. I've had, I've said on loads of shows about a lot of these players like Garnacho, Højlund, and Bruno Fernandes, and other players as well, to say that they are not good enough to play for this football club. And I've been very disappointed with the manager. I mean, we had United had Ericsson and Kobe Mainu on the bench, and Amorim started obviously Højlund and Mason Mount, and we bring on Diego Dallo in the second half for Mazraoui, a like-for-like change, and we brought on Kobe Mainu in the 89th minute of the game. I mean, the subs were absolutely shocking. Were absolutely shocking, and the reality is that for my football club to turn around, Ineos have to get rid of 10 or 11 of these players at least, and they have to sack the manager at the same time and bring in a manager that is good enough. Like, for me, I would either bring in Thomas Frank or Glass. No, that's my choices if we was to get rid of him.
Look, I completely get it. I completely get the frustration. You've just lost. It's been a bad season for you. And listen, we would have been in exactly the same position if we had lost. Let's be fair. Yesterday's game was always going to end badly for one of our clubs.
Yeah.
Look, I actually think United I think you dominated us yesterday. I thought you looked the much better team. We defended brilliantly, but I thought you were the only team that looked like you actually wanted to go forward and score goals. It's what I said to you the other day. When I look at your forward line, when I look at Garnacho, Diallo, Xerxes, Højlund, I don't see goals. I genuinely don't look at that and think that Man U front line is scary. You had chances. You had about 16, 17 shots. 6 or 7 of them were on target. You genuinely don't look threatening. Back in the day when I used to watch Man United, it was, Rooney, Tevez, Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie, Andy Cole, Teddy Sheringham, Solskjaer, Dwight York, like Ronaldo, Cantona. It was, for me, I think it's going to be very harsh if you get rid of the manager when it's not his players. I do think it will be difficult. But if you do bring in a new man, how long are you going to give that new man with these same players again? How long does he get? 6 months? 3 months? How long are you giving that manager?
That's an actual good question. But like, the thing is that obviously the club signed the 5 signings obviously were Ugarte, Xerxes, Yanni Euro, Delit and Mazarara. Like these 5 signings there, and obviously some like a couple of them or 3 of them was like club signings. Like Xerxes was a club signing, Yanni Euro was a club signing. But obviously under Ten Hag worked with Mazarari and Delit before Ajax, obviously. But like, obviously I think the club is trying to make, because one thing I have seen from Ineos is that in their recruitment they are trying to recruit players what play like multiple systems. Like they are trying to recruit players that can play multiple of positions and play multiple systems. And I think with a Thomas Frank and a Glasner, I think if we was to bring in a Thomas Frank and a Glasner and sack Amorim and get rid of some of the players, I think the Glasner and Frank could do a good job in the first season. But
I agree, but I feel like the problem with Man United fans, and again, listen, I don't have a massively strong opinion on it because it's not my club. But if you bought in Glasner, right, and they're going to walk into the shit show that Man United is, they're going to walk into this mess, and your fan base is going to expect that within a month or two that everything's sorted and everything's flying. And I feel like those managers are going to need time to turn it around. Problem is, Man United aren't what you were. You're not what you were.
No,
you used to be the big team, right? Now, you're one of several teams that think they should be bigger than they are. And look, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight tooth and nail for Amorim to stay. He's not my manager. I just think if he was given 4 or 5 of his own players in the summer, I think he's going to do a good job. But you guys need to be patient. But
I do agree. I do agree with you. I do agree with you that it's not just Amorim. I'm not just blaming Amorim, by the way. Like I said, I've had doubts about Ineos, about the managerial, their managerial choices. Obviously, I've had doubts about obviously some of the players, like again Bruno Fernandes, and this is another thing, this is a problem. This is a problem. What being in my fan base, and I know a lot all football fans do it, but when they put certain players on a pedestal, put certain players on a pedestal, I hear a lot of United fans say Bruno Fernandes is a legend. I hear certain United fans saying that he should be in a he should be in a candidate for the Ballon d'Or. He's done, what I mean. He's carried Man United out of relegation. He's got Man United to top 4. But I'm one of them United fans that I've never rated Bruno Fernandes because for me, Bruno Fernandes is a player. For example, he will have 2 spells in. He will have 1 or 2 spells in a game. He will have a 10-minute spell where he plays well, or a 15 or 20-minute spell where he plays well in the game, and then for the rest of the game he won't do anything. And the thing is, you just brought up, we had players like Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, and Wayne Rooney, and Michael Carrick. I've seen players like that because I've supported Man United since 2008. I've supported this club since 2008 when we won the Champions League. So yeah.
Look, what I'll say. Sorry, I've just got a lot of people to get through. Look, I hear you. You've got the standards. You're used to those top players. I get it. I do feel, though, that when Man United fans talk about Bruno Fernandes, he's your best footballer. This is for me, I feel like you're going after the wrong players. Bruno Fernandes, if you look at the number of goals and assists he's got in the last 4 or 5 years, it's frighteningly good. Now, listen, he might not turn up every game, but not many players these days do. Look, what we'll do is come on again when Man United have signed some players. We can talk about who those players are.
Yeah.
We'll see where you're sitting.
Obviously, it's been a pleasure. I think in my opinion, I think our best player is Amad Diallo. That's who I think our best player. I think our best player is Amad Diallo because I'm not. I would say this. I'm not really a stats guy, Savva. I'm more of an eye test guy. I'm more of an eye test guy instead of a stat guy. So that's just me.
When someone's getting the sheer volume of goals and assists, they must be doing something right. But listen, I'm going to let you go. I've got loads of people to get through and not a lot of time to do it. So I really do appreciate it.
I do appreciate it
very soon. Okay.
Yeah, I do appreciate you for giving me the time. It's always a pleasure to talk football. People smash the likes because Savva's taking a lot of time for us to have our say on football. So
thank you very much. I really appreciate the kind words. You have a good evening. All right.
I will.
Take care, man. See you later.
Take care. See you later. Bye.
Isn't it lovely when people are nice and have manners and are polite? It's really not difficult, is it? Chris in the chat, I'm not going to be polite. Stop being a dickhead. Saying Savva didn't want to win the trophy. Stop being a dickhead, mate. You're always in my chat. Just go away. If you want to lie, just go away. Guys, I've got a few of you in the back and no, not a lot of time, right? I can either, some of you won't get on if I do it one by one, or I can bring you all on at once. It's up to you guys. I've seen there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the back. I can bring you all on at once and everyone will get to talk. I won't be able to do 6 individual one-on-ones. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. What I'll do is, if anyone's happy to do that, just put your thumbs up and I'll bring you on. If not, I won't. Anybody? You can all hear me, right? Right, Billy's happy. Carl's happy. Anger's Haskinov. Are you cool with that? Haskinov, can you hear me? Are you cool with that? If I bring everyone on? I need a thumbs up. I need a thumbs up, people, because I can't hear. Yeah. Okay, I'll bring you all on. And then I've got sorry guys, it's just sometimes it just rumbles and rumbles and rumbles. Let me start with my man Haskinov. How you doing, bro? You good?
Yes. finally a trophy, for goodness sake.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. And what did you tell me what you wanted to say? Actually, I'm not gonna probe you in the right direction.
No, I just wanted to say I'm very glad for the trophy and terrified that Ange probably will want to stick around, so a bit conflicted. But the main thing I want to say is I find it so hard to understand why this man says in a cup competition it's knockout football, so then you play different. Why doesn't a manager think every game is different and every opponent is different, and you tweak the tactics to the opposition you play? Period. I don't get this guy. I just don't get the way he manages. That's the main thing I want to. Pete talked a bit about it as well. I don't understand that mentality from a manager.
Yeah, I mean, look, let me open up to everyone else. I mean, listen, again, if we're going to just do the, yay, we won a trophy thing, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we did, brilliant. No doubt in that. But he has got a point, right, guys? Like, if Ange can adapt, why have we not seen it for 2 years? Why doesn't he go into Premier League games going, I can't play wide open today. I'm playing against Mo Salah, Luis Diaz. Like, why are we so wide open in the Premier League, but not in Europe? What is it purely, guys, because that is what he needed to save his job, or is there more context behind it? Anyone, take it away.
I mean, I think cup competitions are different, right? It's one-off game or 2 games. He's definitely stubborn. He's definitely, I mean, that's the question that everybody's asking. Why doesn't he adapt? Obviously, he would never play the low block like we did against, last night, but he can at least play mid block. That's the question. Obviously, I think most people agree he's not good enough for us to compete on all fronts. He's not good enough for us to consistently challenge on all fronts. And you know me, Savva, like you and I, we went back and forth before I defended Ange. But even after this moment, it's clear that the next manager needs to be given the money for the next season. And there needs to be a plan.
Do you not think he'll be here next season, Eugene?
Honestly, you know what? Before the game, I said I want him gone for sure. Now my head says I want him gone. My heart says I don't care. Like, this for me was such a big moment that, you know what? If we give him a year, we waste the next season. It's unfortunate, but I cannot begrudge him that time. Again, it's just different. It's a dichotomy, my head and my heart.
Yeah.
But again, sure. So I let everybody go. I just want to say I've seen my teams in the States win 7 championships: basketball, baseball, football, 7 championships. after decades of waiting, and I never broke down and cried. I was in the pub here, my supporters group. There were like 50 Americans, right? Like all Spurs fans, a couple of United fans. Everybody was crying. I cried when we won, and then when I saw Sonny cry and lift the trophy, I broke down. I don't know why, but this was so emotional. So at this
you
point,
think it's
nothing else matters.
The breaking down, Eugene? Let's be honest. The breaking down is because we're not used to winning trophies, right? That I think whichever manager had come in and won us our first trophy after all these years was going to get so much adulation. Big clubs, when I see the big clubs win trophies year after year after year, I'm not seeing their fans don't cry, don't get emotional. They're just like, get in there, it's another trophy. So hopefully that comes. But is there anyone that feels differently? I don't want this to be an echo chamber. Is there anyone that understands why Ange doesn't adapt for the Premier League? Again, everyone knows my opinion. I don't get it. You know the team you're playing. You know, if you're playing Aston Villa, for example, you know they're dangerous on the counter-attack, right? Do something different, but he doesn't. He does the same thing every game. Does anyone understand why?
It's very hard.
Not really. To be honest, I think the only reason why he would do it is because he's got all his eggs in the Europa League basket, and that's probably why. But for me, I personally don't see why that would be any different to the Premier League. Or why it should be. But yeah, like as I was saying, like I
don't forget to lock
let me get my words up. Yeah, I'm delighted. Don't get me wrong. I'm so happy that we won yesterday. But I feel like for Ange to sort of be remembered as sort of like someone who won it and brought us that trophy in 41 years, I feel like he has to walk rather than him go and get sacked in November.
Mm. He's already said he won't walk. Do you think he stays? Do you think Levy keeps him, or do you think he goes?
It's a very hard question.
I think he's
of course.
Personally, I think he goes.
He goes.
Personally,
I think it's a done deal. I think it's been decided before the game.
21
just the way he
defeats in the league is not acceptable. Not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I mean, it's
yes,
difficult,
won the
right?
Europa League, but
it's difficult because, again, I mean, I was just on a show just now where I was told I was absolutely batshit crazy because this is the best season I've ever seen, whilst my team is losing 21 league games. I find it, I don't know about you guys, I find it really hard in my head to compute losing week in, week out and saying this is the greatest I've seen because we managed to beat some poor teams in a cup. But that's just me.
Another thing is the players coming out and saying that they believe in him and everything. Yesterday they were, and then we have 21 losses in the league, and they go out and
that's what they're going to anyway. You know what I mean? They're going like.
It's just
they don't
play for him.
Whoa, it's lagging.
On that note, though, I always find it funny when players come out and say these things. If they were really playing for him, they truly believed in it, why is it so different in the Europa League to the Premier? Like,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Go on, Elijah. Go on, mate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. What I will say is that despite you guys finishing in 17, you have to give Ange credit, because when you guys lost 2-0 to Arsenal in September, he did say that he always wins trophies in his second season, and he delivered it yesterday. Like, for me, when he said that, I criticize him, because you can say that when he went to like Celtic or many other clubs, and I said to a few Spurs fans, like, for me, it's like he could be right, but the only problem is that Tottenham do not win trophies. But the fact that he actually won you guys the Europa League since 1984, it's just really good. Like, and the question is,
let me ask you to play devil's advocate. Otherwise, it'll be boring if we all agree. I get it. He did say, I'll give him maximum credit. He did say, I win in my second year, and he did. I've got no issue with that. That's brilliant. Does that outweigh just how bad he's been for 19 months in the Premier League? This is 19 months of doing that?
Yeah.
Does
For me,
it outweigh it?
Yeah, in terms of the Premier League, like the fact that you've lost 21 games is still unacceptable. Like Tottenham should not be, below 10th. Like, if you know what I mean. So it all depends on Ange. He said he wants to stay, but I feel like he might walk because these owners would never ever back Ange or allow him to stay after you guys lost 21, and it could be 22 if you lose to Brighton on the final day of at home. So to me, if it's their decision. I feel like Ange will stay because what he said was true, but it all depends on the owners. Do they still trust him or do they want them gone? If you know what I mean. But you have to give him credit. You really do. What I will say is that, where's the performance? You performed this in the in the Europa League. Where was this in the Premier League? Why did it took you 19 months to beat Man United in Europa League final and you have 21 losses? The mentality is still bad. You turned up yesterday in the Europa League final, but then you don't turn up in the Premier League. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with you. And by the way, I feel that people again in the chat have selective hearing. Maximum credit to this guy for winning the trophy. I'm not knocking it. No one's knocking it. I think the inquest from everyone is just how bad do you have to be in the league to say you've got to be that bad to win that competition. I can understand almost if you said we were that bad, but you know what? We've knocked out Juventus in the Champions League. We've knocked out Juventus, PSG, Real Madrid. Wow.
Barcelona, yeah.
But like Roy Keane said, Elijah, how Tottenham and Man U have not been able to balance playing that level of team plus the Premier League is a little bit baffling. It's not like we've been playing. Let's be fair. The best team statistically we've played in the Europa League is Frankfurt, who fell off a cliff after Marmouche left them in January. But that's the best team we've beaten en route is Frankfurt. I'm not knocking it, but
Savva, you have to admit it's irritating that it's this manager that gets us over the line with these terrible interviews, terrible tactics. Why is it this guy? It's so Tottenham, right?
Sorry, it doesn't matter. It doesn't to me.
No, I know, but
it could be anybody. It could be the lunch lady.
Yeah, but
do you know what's interesting, Haskanov, about your point? You know what's interesting? It's interesting that you've got a manager that has finally won us a trophy, yet the fans are still so split on him. That tells its own story.
Yeah.
That tells its own story. If Poch had won a trophy, no one is Poch out. Right? So you have to ask the question, guys, why do so many people then still not believe in Ange? And that's, I'm just asking that question. Why?
You know what this is? And last thing to say, I think it's interesting. I think our team is filled with players like Bissouma. He has great moments, but he's inconsistent. Madison, great moments, inconsistent. And I think Ange is a moments manager, right? Or a single competition manager, where on a single day, right, in a single game, he can set us up to win. But he's not consistent enough with his philosophy and kind of the tactics to help us win over a long stretch. And I think that's the issue with our manager and the players. We just need consistency where they don't turn up only for the big games. We need players who turn up and the manager who sets us up to challenge consistently.
Eugene, again, let me debate this, right? Doesn't this come down to how he plays them? And again, what I said earlier in the show, when Bissouma is played in Bissouma's position, Bissouma was wanted by a lot of clubs in the Premier League for a reason. And he's played really well for Spurs when he's played there. When Ange plays him in this chaotic system, that's not Bissouma's game. Bissouma's not a passer of the ball. Bissouma's not a guy that's going to bring it out from the back and start off moves. Bissouma puts out fires. Basuma is a box-to-box who gets the ball, puts out fires, and drives forward with it. Maddison is a number 10. Maddison's not your number 8 on the halfway line, dropping deep to get the ball. But when he's put them in their positions in the Europa League, they look good. So isn't that on the manager's tactics, not the players?
I agree with you 80% there. But look, if you look at Basuma, like my issue with him this season, or even last couple of seasons, not kind of his skill set, that, you know, his passing ability, is just his mental acuity isn't there. He just makes dumb mistakes against Chelsea. He has terrible brain dead at the moment. So for me, it's just that.
Name me a Spurs player that doesn't.
Right. So my issue is, for example, well, Romero, why does he turn up only in Europe? Our big players, right? They turn up, and again, partially it's on the manager, but as a professional player, you cannot pick and choose when you turn up. Obviously, human nature with Romero, who is a World Cup winner. He's like, why am I playing in the league when we're 17th? He's downing tools. But
that's the manager.
It's in the players as well to actually play. And some of our players, they don't play consistently and don't show effort consistently.
Yeah, but that's the manager's job, right? To motivate them and be, you know, strict and make them perform, basically. That's the manager's job. That's why he's paid, like Savva said, £5 million a year to make them perform.
Somebody was talking, so.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree. Look, let me bring in some of the other guys that haven't talked. And we've got about 8-9 minutes left. By the way, Sky Sports have just announced that inside sources at Man U have said that Amorim's job is not under threat, which I think I think it's crazy. If they sack a manager before they've even given this manager a chance to do anything, it is absolutely mad. But hey, that's just me. Guys and girls, it's an interesting one. Why is there so much? I know I'll get the blame for it. It's probably my fault. I'm the only person in the world that Spurs fans listen to, apparently. Why are so many torn on this manager? There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason why so many of us go, I don't mind if he leaves. I want him gone.
The reason is because we see every single week in the Premier League that we're so bad in the Premier League. Every week our tactics, we invert our fullbacks. We're so empty. We're always not playing any of our players to their best ability. And then every week we're losing the Prem. How many games we lost in the Prem? 20, 21? It's not good enough. So winning the Europa League is very good. But I mean, sadly, you know, I've flip-flopped everywhere. But winning the Europa League is good.
You've got shares in Javiana. You flip-flop that much, mate. You are crazy. But yes, you're Matty K, you are absolutely spot on. It is, right? People will look at cups are lovely, right? Cup runs are lovely. But every week, league is going to be there, whether you're in a cup or not, right? Every week, your league fixture is going to be there. And every week, how many times? We had 21 feelings this year of, bloody hell, 21. I've never known anything. I don't know. Some of you, I don't think many of you, I don't think any of you are going to be my age. Maybe, I don't know. No, Haskanov, how old are you, Haskanov?
44.
Oh, yes. I'm not the oldest. Love it. So in your years of supporting Spurs, you ever known this volume of defeats? Like it's crazy how many we lose.
It's been so many that it's normalized. You don't care anymore, and that's a red sign, a really bad sign.
Yeah, that great word you've used there. He has, guys, right? We have normalized losing because every defeat is now met with. You watch how many people in the chat every week when there's a defeat. Yeah, but this was a gimme. Yeah, but this was a buy. Yeah, but this was a free hit. Sorry? When did any of these games become free hit? Maybe one before a final. Yeah, but in January, I see people going, this is a free hit because we're playing Liverpool in the semi-final of the Cup. So? Why is
the money we pay for games, week in, week out, the money we pay for season tickets for Premier League games, FA Cup games, it's crazy. We outprice the fans, but then these performances are saying, why are our ticket prices so high if we're finishing 17th in the Premier League? We're not normally in Champions League football. I mean, this season, yes, we've won a trophy. Very good. But we finished 17th. How can you charge that price, finish 17th?
I agree.
I think, Matty, that comes down to the business side of things as well. You got to look at it like Tottenham's not a football club anymore, is it? Let's be honest, it's a business. So I think that's Levy sort of going, oh, we could put the prices up to whatever we want. The paying customer will pay it no matter what. They'll put up $2,000 and we'll still pay it.
The fans of the club still pay it. That's the problem. If we sell our tickets, tourists go, other fans go. I mean, you look how our club is bigger than we think. Look how many fans there are. There were how many in a stadium in Bilbao? 20,000. How many in a fan park in Bilbao? How many in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in Bilbao? How many in pubs around the world? We are a very big club, and yeah.
Do you know what? It's a good point, because those people that pay. Let's use my man Lubo as an example, shall we? Let's use our mate Lubo. That man travels round the world, right, up and down the country. And every time that man travels up, and not just him, there's thousands that do it. Every time he travels up and down the country, every time he travels around the world, every time he travels to Spurs, that is petrol, plane fare, program, right? Ticket, right? All of this stuff, the season ticket price. So when fans are just sitting there going, that's a free hit. Hang on. And I'm not saying Lubo on this. Some people, football is their life. And what I mean by that is some people have a modest wage and all their spare money goes into, I'm going to Spurs, right? Some people have 3 or 4 kids. All their money goes into, I'm taking my kids to White Hart Lane every other week. So when you've got fans sitting there going, free hit, free hit, free hit. Hang on, what free hit? So do the fans get their money back for the free hits?
No.
Do the fans get free food and drink in the stadium for when you're having a free hit? And that is for me where I don't like this. We prioritise the Europa League. This man told us that he had a winning mentality last year. This man told us we can't be throwing games. He had a go at the fans that wanted to lose against City so that Arsenal, Angus, didn't win the league. He told us we needed a winning mentality. I don't throw games, he said. We want to win every game. Then a year later, when he's not, it's, oh, yeah, but it's okay. So I'm confused. I'm confused.
And also, Savva, like you've got to think about the people that actually don't live in London that support Spurs as well. There's millions of us. Like I live in Devon, right? So for me to catch a train or something, it's like over £100. Plus then you go into the Spurs store, buy something, and then you go to grab your ticket, and then it cost about £2,000 all up, just for a game. It's getting ridiculous now, and that's why, like, for me, I said, like, the last game I went to was Everton at the start of the season. Yeah, I won't go no more because of how much it costs. It's just too costly.
Savva, can I ask you? So we were talking about it the other week about if we won the Europa League, and we are in the Champions League next season. Let's say a player like Edison at Atalanta, and let's theoretically say Man United and Tottenham are both in for him. So let's say we're in Champions League, we've got European Cup behind us, and we've both done awful in the Prem. Yes, United are a much bigger name, they're a much bigger club. Who would he rather go to, in your opinion?
Man United, because they pay the wages. You won't.
Tottenham.
That's simple as that. Simple as that, but you won't pay the wages though.
Matty, I think there's a number of factors. Look, I think a lot of people just say pay the money. I think footballers are asked more questions these days. I think they know they're going to listen. We said this before, Matty. If Spurs ring up Edison's agent, and say, "Look, we're interested in your client," Edison's agent is going to be like, "Yeah, you're interested in him. So are Juve. So are them. So are them. So are them. So are them." So the player knows and the agent knows that the salary is not a problem for him. So now it's moved away a little bit about money. Now it's about, right, where am I going? Why am I going there? What's their history? What are they building? Who's the manager? How safe is the manager within his job? Where is the location? Now, we as Spurs fans are, oh my God, we won a trophy. This is amazing. Footballers might look at Spurs and go, well, okay, they've won a trophy. It's the first trophy they've won in 17 years. I've got an offer from that club down the road. They win a trophy every other year. you might have some that look and go, well, hang on, is Ange stable in his job? I'm not sure I want to join there. Daniel Levy's got a habit of blowing things up from within. Do I want to go there? So, look, Edison, you'd love to think, if we're using Edison as the example, Matty, you'd love to think that we can ring him up and go, hey, join us. And he'd go, yes, you're in the Champions League. But players aren't silly. He'll look and say, all right, but they're not a regular Champions League team. And hang on, that team down there wants me. I don't know, Juve want me. They are a regular Champions League team. Bayern Munich want me. They are a regular Champions League team who win leagues. I don't know Edison. I don't know him, Matty, right? I don't know him. What I do know is this. No matter how much we talk about Man United and dropping off, Man United still lure players to that football club. They've always done it. Even in this last 10, 12 years where they've not been the Man U of old, they're still bringing in the Ibrahimoviches, right? They're still bringing in the Lit, who's a big name from Bayern Munich. They're still bringing in Bruno Fernandes. They're still bringing in these people. They're still attracting Casemiro, who, forget that he's got Real Madrid. Like they can still do it, Matty. And because people will always believe in the back of their mind that Man U are always probably a year away from getting big again. I don't know if they look at Spurs and go, this is the start of something new. But Matty, what I will say, sorry to go on a rant, if you go for an Edison after you've already signed 2 or 3 players, and those 2 or 3 players are good players, that might turn his head. If you go and try and get an Edison after you've bought Archie Gray, Odeberg, Bergvall, no offense to them, but as young kids, Edison's not going to go, that's where I want to join. I want to join that youth project. And you wouldn't, Matty. I know you're, but if you were a 25, I don't know how old Edison, if you're a 23, 24-year-old senior pro that's won trophies, right, you play for your national team, you're wanted by clubs, you're not going to go and join a club that has a youth project. You're going to go and play with the better players, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just where I sit with it. Sorry, that's just me, guys. That's just me. Listen, I do need to wrap up in 60 seconds. Carl, I'm aware you haven't said anything. What do you want to say, my man?
I'm just delighted we won yesterday, and I've still lost my voice from last night when I screamed louder when we scored and when the final whistle went. So, yeah, I'm still buzzing from last night, and I watched the highlights, and yeah, I'm happy we won. And Arsenal are allergic to Europe. We won more than we would, so I'm happy we won, and yeah, so I'm just happy we won. That's all I can say, but I don't know what else to say. So all I can say is I'm happy we won, and yeah, and so yeah, I'll let you go, and I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Well, listen, look, Carl, thank you. Yeah, Arsenal do seem allergic to Europe. Yes, they've got one Europa League or one UEFA Cup and an Affairs Cup, if we want to count that, back in the 70s. Look, let's enjoy this because football changes very quickly. Football changes very quickly. Guys, thank you very much, Haskinov, Matty, Carl, Billy. Big up Angus. So sorry about your club this year. Maybe you'll get rid of our
I bet you are. I bet you are.
Absolutely.
I bet you
take
are.
care, everyone. My
Take
last
care,
message to
everyone.
everyone in the chat, please remember it's football. Please can we remember this is football? Please can we remember what we're actually arguing about is men that run around on grass and kick a bit of leather before we all get really personal with each other, before we tell lies like Chris in the chat saying I didn't want to win the trophy, things like that. Come on, guys. Let's grow up a little bit. Guys, much love. Take care. I'm off out. See you later.
Come on.
And as always, go on, Matty.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.